Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been asking me to review this for ages. I don't typically do, episode by episode reviews. I've done them in the past and they've not done that well. So I thought I'd just enjoy the series and then review it as a whole, rather than second guessing the writers, trying to see what's going to go on, which is part of the fun, but I did it in my own free time instead. The Boys, Season 3. Good season. We're going to talk full spoilers here. You would have seen it by now, and if you haven't, you would have watched most of the episodes. But I am just going to be talking about the whole season as it's one complete thing, one complete entity. I'm not breaking it down episode by episode. I want to start with what I think is some of the best character arcs, because obviously that's what we're watching as a series, right? Some of the best character arcs came from Frenchie, I think, actually. Frenchie's character arc was really, really well done. And it went very, very well with the girl, Mon Coeur. I don't know the exact character's name. But it went very well. Both of those mirrored each other quite nicely. They bounced off of one another nicely. She thinking she's a monster, loses her powers to Soldier Boy, then injects V again under her own, her own accord, and knows what she is. And her first display of those powers properly, which we got in the final episode, was her having a blast. She puts the music in, and she's listening to, Maniac, and I think that was just great. I think it was a really good character arc. I was really disappointed that they didn't get together, though. Actually, I was genuinely disappointed by that. They had that kiss, and she said, well, we're more than that. We're family now. And I was like, shame. Because I couldn't tell that that's what they were thinking at the time. And by the way, you are just going to be looking at me. I can't do anything else. Amazon loved to copyright claim footage, so soz. But that kiss didn't feel awkward. They both seemed really happy. I felt the awkwardness came after the fact when Frenchie disappeared, but she would have known that wasn't his fault. So I thought that was a strange character decision and something which I thought was a shame. I think Frenchie deserved to have that happiness with her. And I think she deserved it too, because she could see she was coming out of her shell more and more. Now, Frenchie's sort of character arc to becoming a full-blown independent individual, free from anyone, was solid. It was really good. Sort of teeters on the edge every single time. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, we'll go free. Yeah. Again, until pretty much the very end, when he's like, no, fuck Butcher. Definitely. This is a democracy. I liked it. I liked that a lot. Those character arcs were really, really good. MM's character arc, I thought, was portrayed somewhat the weakest. And I think that was really a shame, because it could have been... He could have had a much better character arc. Because he's integral to the story of Soldier Boy. Or he should have been. And I don't know if I'm in the minority here believing this, but I just feel he wasn't involved enough. I mean, Soldier Boy murders his father, murders loads of people and all this kind of stuff. And he spends his whole life, it's what's given him the OCD. So much stuff, right? And yet, we're also exploring the fact that his daughter can't see him angry. His daughter was there witnessing this stepfather of hers disrespect her actual father. Now, I would have thought she would have been on his side when he hit the stepdad. And I felt like that was just really weak storytelling. Them not having the balls to have, to actually embrace that and go, yeah, no, I think a child would understand that. And a child would ultimately, especially in those circumstances, because that's what you need to remember, those particular circumstances, he does actually have a good relationship with his daughter. He does have a good one. You'd have thought that she would have been fine with it. One would have assumed anyway. But Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, again, I'm in the minority. But I felt like that was really underserved. Still, enjoyable, nonetheless. But again, they didn't quite give, MM the bollocks to go all the way with his hatred of Butcher. And he's still working with him at the very end. Even knowing full well that Butcher has been taken, temp V and all this kind of stuff. Which I feel goes against the character which they portray earlier in the series. Now, I'm sort of complaining a little bit here. I love the overall series. Like, Season 3 was great, and I'm really looking forward to Season 4. Black Noir's character... Well, I'll get to the others. Black Noir's character pops to mind next as a very wasted character. Very wasted, in fact. Killed off, essentially, Season 2. Sort of. And then Season 3 pops up but then disappears briefly. We understand why, of course. But then I'm still... I don't think they quite knew what to do with him. Because they've remade this character. In the comics, he's a clone of Homelander. So I don't think they quite know what to do with him. And so they've just killed him off. And I feel like that was a shame. Huey, Starlight. Huey's an interesting one. He's an interesting one. One which I still don't fully like. He's a bit of a... I mean, we're supposed to not like him that much, but he is our central character, so we are supposed to be endeared to him somewhat. But I much prefer Butcher as a character. Huey is a pain in the ass. He is an irritating character. Some of the stuff he does is just dumb. Like, some of it is just a bit dumb. He tried so hard to get Starlight, and then he's siding with Butcher to okay, sure, whatever. Some of it was just a bit strange for that characterization, I thought, personally. I like Starlight. Erin Moriarty, I think the actress's name is. She's a good actress. She does very, very well with the character. Their interactions, they bounce off very well with one another. So on a whole, like, I like them as the duo. But yeah, wasted. Some of their stuff I felt was a little bit wasted. Now, Anthony Starr as Homelander. I wanted him to be more unhinged. We got him unhinged in the final episode when someone launches a water bottle at his son and he lasers his head off. That's the unhinged Homelander I wanted, and I think most of you did too, because I felt like that was what the trailers portrayed, that he was going to be absolutely going nuts, and he wasn't. Him lasering people in broad daylight and being celebrated for it, yeah, that's fucking nuts. And that's what I wanted more of, but I did still find it to be fascinating, him having these little conversations with himself, finding out that he's Soldier Boy's son, albeit not really, but still actually being his son, all these kind of things. I feel like that character is, doing very, very well. Like, it's an interesting choice to take him down. And I don't know where you go with him now. You have to embrace him going mental. You have to. If you don't, what are we building up to now? There's no redeeming this character. Each and every single season, he's a step closer to being a complete, almost Earth dictator. And so I think, they really do have to go with that and embrace it. And I thought that's what they were going to do this season, but they didn't, obviously. Which, sure, whatever, because they were telling the story of Soldier Boy, which gets me to Soldier Boy. Great acting. Jensen Ackles, I think, is the chap's name. I think that's how you say it anyway. Good acting from him. A little bit wooden in parts, but I think that is actually supposed to be how the character is portrayed, because he's this sort of archetype, bit of a dinosaur. I liked it. I mean, it's very sort of Russian soldier-esque. Winter Soldier-esque, coming out of the tube and all of that. I liked that a lot. I thought that was very well done. I don't think they explored his PTSD enough. I think that could have been something which they utilised a lot more of, and they didn't. And they know it was there as well. Like, you could have literally just set him off anywhere by playing some music. I mean, Butcher, I'm fairly certain, I'd have to go back, but I'm fairly certain Butcher literally acknowledges, yeah, it was music, it was PTSD. So they know that, and they could have harnessed that. Butcher storyline. Interesting. We learn more about his brother, Lenny, how that happened, he committed suicide, all these kind of things. Quite tragic, not nice. Does show Butcher to be an absolute arsehole, but he does try to redeem himself. He's a character that very much teeters on the edge of redemption every single episode. And I'll be intrigued to see what they do now, whether he just takes V permanently, just takes Compound V. Because he's only got 12 months to live now. And I think that there will be the potential that he will do that. Maybe, or he's just going to die and that'll be one of the final seasons. But that's about it. Edgar, I wasn't expecting Edgar to get toppled. Head Popper, wasn't expecting her to then run for, VP at the end of the season. There was a fair amount of unexpectedness. The deep fucking an octopus was absolutely disgusting. The deep eating, Timothy the octopus, that was disgusting as well. There's quite a lot of funny, gross and sad things that we see in this season. Herogasm was the thing which was talked up so much in the press. I genuinely feel that was actually a bit of a letdown. That was tame. Like, that, I didn't see anything that was particularly out there, mad. It seemed pretty tame to me, to be honest. I don't know what I was expecting, but they bigged it up a lot, and I feel like that was a bit of a letdown, to be perfectly honest. There's not all that much else to really say, to be honest. It works really, really well. I feel like, the people that find this to be woke will be the same people that will be annoyed with South Park having Mr. Garrison, be the Trump archetype as the president. It's satire on everyone. It's the same people that didn't like The Hunt, for instance. It's those people that are so tribalistic that get really, really butthurt that there's any jokes levied at their side. And it's like, but it's also done at every single side. A-Train, for instance, he became a Black Lives Matter joke, in this season. And he was an absolute joke. Interesting character arc for him too, where he apologizes to Huey. There was, again, that I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting him to kill Blue Hawk either. Just rip him to shreds by dragging him along the floor and thus killing himself. But I feel like his character arc could go two ways now. He could be good or could be bad moving forwards. Because obviously he's been rejected by Homelander come the end. Homelander and his son for the future. That'll be interesting. That'll be really, really interesting. So let me know what you guys think of all of this down below. Again, without talking about the predictions like you would on episode, we're just talking about character arcs, how it all came to fruition and things like that. This is, the review's not going to be massively long without taking questions and things and doing it in a live format. But I really enjoyed this show. It's good fun. I feel like the production values are always good. They're great. It's a shame that Maeve's gone. I feel, again, that was a bit of a wasted character as well. There were some things which were wasted massively. But on a whole, great. Really, really, really good. Consistently good. So I'll be intrigued to see season 4. So yeah, cheers guys. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.